Welcome back to the channel where I give you my recommendations up front for new streaming content and then hope that you stick around to see if I can justify why I gave it those recommendations. Today we're going to go and actually review Mobland on Paramount Plus. Now, for me, looking at target audience for this type of series, meaning that you are into crime drama, mob movies, and if you're a fan of Tom Hardy, I'm going to suggest that you watch the first two episodes of this series. Conversely, if you are a casual viewer that none of those previous genres are your thing, and you just want to know if this is actually worth my time, I'd actually suggest that you watch one episode of this because I will tell you that this is mildly entertaining for me. Now, stay tuned to see if I can justify things and to find out if I'm a target audience member or if I'm a casual. Stay tuned.
Because power is a hungry thing.
Mobland is a crime drama that premiered in March of 2025 on Paramount Plus. Now, it has 10 episodes in the first season, and the episodes run roughly about 55 minutes apiece. And it stars Tom Hardy as Harry D'Souza, Pierce Bronson as Conrad Harrington, and Helen Mirren as Maeve Harrington. IMDb has a synopsis in this way. Power is up for grabs as two warring crime families clash in a battle that threatens to topple empires. In the crossfire stands Harry D'Souza, a street-smart fixer who knows too well where loyalties lie when opposing forces collide. What is this series like? For me, I would go ahead and actually say this is like Peaky Blinders or Boardwalk Empire or Ray Donovan. When you're looking at the different types of series that exist along mob styles or along warring factions and things like that, those are the three that I can think of that this series most closely resembles. I've got to admit, mobster shows and movies aren't my thing. Like there's been a few that I like The Departed or Mobsters. Hoodlum is a good one for me, Untouchables, and American Gangster. So I got some that go and actually stick out to me. But you know what? A lot of mainstream people and critics alike are going to be mad because I'm not a big fan of Scarface or Casino or even The Godfather. They're just not my thing. Now, mob movies aren't my usual thing. And then this particular series is a British series, which kind of brings its own little quirks and nuances and things like that. So for this particular series, I'm registering as a casual. The reason why you want to know where my perspective comes from is because, hey, you should know that when your reviewer goes and actually gives you the recommendation. So you've got mine. And understand, I watched the first two episodes of brand new streaming content on streaming platforms to go ahead and actually give you my flavor and let you know if it's worth your time. If you like how that sounds, do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe. And now, let's deep dive into it. In those first couple of episodes that I watched, just to kind of get a flavor of what this series is about. Well, in the first episode, they had a very interesting opening scene that shows you how Tom Hardy and Pierce Bronson's characters are and their personalities and some of the brutality that goes on within this series. So they kind of jump you in real quick, gangster, like that, to go and actually let you know what's going on. There was a nightclub scene in the episode one that was probably a lot, but it was there to go and actually prove, how chaotic it was for like the two youngsters that they were focusing in on and things like that. So that was kind of, it was a lot that was going on there. The scenes after that are showing kind of like the aftermath of what happened that night in that club and things of that nature. And some of the scenes that are talking about the cleanup and aftermath and things like that, they kind of get a little boring for me. Like it kind of lulled me a little bit, but there's obviously showing about the family's influence and things like that. So it had a purpose. It just was a little boring for me. The connection of the two mob families makes everything more complex. Like there's these two big mob families, and as you would expect, they're running things, so they have their tendrils into everything and what have you. So I understand it is complex and it's supposed to be that way. You kind of left me just kind of like, okay, all right, this is what it is. There was a sit down that was a pretty good scene that gave a lot of tension, and so that was one that just kind of made me go and actually feel like, okay, I like this scene. Really kind of gave me that some goose vibes and things of that. Goose vibes is that thing? Probably not. Goosebumps, probably more accurate. But yes, I liked it. And then the end scene at the end of episode one was interesting from a standpoint of kind of knowing how paranoid and manipulating the main family is, the Harringtons. in this particular thing on there, and it sheds a lot of light on that aspect of it. So that was episode 1. And episode 2, they kind of start right up and doing another cleanup issue and recap of kind of like the previous episode. So you get right into this. It's a direct flow. There's an escalation of like missing person tensions and with the families and things like that. Like things just start escalating up and up, and ratcheting up the tension. There was a really good car. I won't say really good, but it was a decent car motorcycle chase in episode 2 that kind of had it was a pay by numbers thing, but it was actually still fun to watch it. And watching car scenes and things like that in England and in Europe in general are a little bit more fun than they are watching it in America, just because of usually like you see like narrower roads and smaller cars and things like that, and it makes everything just amped up just a little bit more. So there's a decent little scene on there. There was another nightclub scene that happened in episode 2 that was closer to the end of that one, and that one was really intense. That one got your the action aspect of things going for you and kind of gave you that feeling of am I going to go and actually see some violence or stuff like that. You do go and actually see it in that second nightclub scene. And then the end scene of that second episode definitely is one that will move forward the chain of events, and it is very much an enticing aspect of things. So they baited you very well to get you through that second episode and say like, hey, if you like what you've seen so far, boom, here you go. So those are kind of like my thoughts for the first 2 episodes and kind of my observations or what have you. I gotta tell you, watching these episodes, there was a lot to go ahead and actually have me keep my attention on all the side characters, side plots, connections. There's a lot going on here because you have these 2 mob families that, have been warring for years. They got, their grasp on a lot of different things. And of course, there's a lot of characters built up, and there's only 10 episodes in this first season. So they have to really kind of get you into the story and get you knowing who these main characters are. And there are a lot. And so it could be a lot to go ahead and actually absorb, especially for a casual person that maybe isn't as interested into like everything up front. Like don't data dump on me in the very beginning of it. The main story is easy. You kind of see that right up front, but the side characters, stuff like that, it really kind of puts a lot on you and demands a lot of the viewer to go ahead and actually watch everything out. Now, I feel that they kind of overstuff these episodes, obviously, because they're giving you a lot of reasons why this incoming family, if there's going to be a war, which it pretty much is going to go that way or what have you, then they're letting you know here's all the reasons, and any of these things can go and actually light the powder keg to explode. So I get the purpose of it. It's just a lot, and I think it probably could have been done better. Maybe if there was a couple more episodes, maybe they could have smoothed some things out or spaced some things out. That's kind of like my own thought process of it. The motivation of a couple of characters becomes a thing around the second episode, and it kind of gets everything becomes like a Rubik's Cube, just trying to figure out who, what, where, when, why, how, and how this person should connect to this and things like that. So they kind of mesh it all in there, and it just kind of goes about that. But in regards to it, for storytelling, for me, pacing is a lot. It dipped in places, especially in episode 1, 2 was a little bit more eventful, things like that. I think the biggest thing for a brand new series, is because they want you to go and actually want to jump to that next episode. And they did a very good job of episode 1 and 2 of making you want to go and watch the next one. If you are following the story, you like the characters, whatever, you want to go and actually do that. So with all that being said, I'm going to go and actually give storytelling a B- for Mobland. Simply said, that the acting is solid in this particular series. You can tell that Tom Hardy's character carries a lot of weight of the family on his shoulders, and that's cool because he is a guy that's loyal and he's got a lot on his plate, and he carries all that through there. With him leading this, it makes the series better. Truly it does, because he's kind of like the calm in the middle of the storm and everything that's going on. Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan are very good in their roles as well. And actually, if you've watched like some of their work, say like in the past like 7 to 5 years or so, they actually seem to be getting better as they get older. I was not a Pierce Brosnan fan back when he was James Bond back in the day, and Helen Mirren I really didn't see, wasn't enticed by any of her roles in like the 90s or anything like that. But over, like I would say, past like at least the last decade or so, they've gotten roles where they really are fun to watch, and this is no exception. They play the head of the family very well. Now you can kind of see their motivations, you can see who they are as characters, whatever, but they're very good at what they're doing. And honestly, most of the supporting characters are cast pretty well, and they help make most of the scenes believable and interesting all the way through. There's only like one person that I don't like, and I know we're not supposed to like him, and it's Anson Boone as Eddie Harrigan. And either I don't know if it's I hate his face or I hate his character. I can't decide which. And is the only reason why my grade for acting, I have it down as a B plus. And I know people probably like, oh my god, you were just lauding all the character letters like that. But something about that character just makes me, because I don't know if the guy just pisses me off and I don't like his lines, his character, or whatever. Or it could just be that he's doing an incredible job and this should be an A. But I'm giving it a B plus for acting, which is not a bad grade for Mobland. Overall, as a casual, the story is convoluted. Even interweaving of character connections right away just kind of turned me off. And while I acknowledge that acting is good, having to follow so many different storylines so soon just makes it more of a chore than what it should be. But I do believe that a lot of mains will like this movie because family, business, betrayal, all that stuff is what mobster movies are about. And the acting is top notch on here. There's some good action scenes. And I have a feeling that the next few episodes are really going to ramp up things, and it'll probably be more exciting than but I got to base off my first 2 episodes. And for my first 2 episodes, I'm just going to say, mains, watch those first 2 episodes. Casuals, give it an episode watch on there because I think it's worthy of that. And you can go and actually make your determination you can make your determination from there. So that's what I have for Mobland, now showing on Paramount Plus. Check it out.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
You stayed for the entire review. I appreciate you. You're my hero. I like you. You're the bomb. If you liked anything that I said on there, go and actually click like. If you want to see me do more of these, subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, you can click the thumbs down, but I would actually prefer that you go ahead and actually just give me some comments. Don't be mean. Just give me some comments. I'm cool with that. I could go ahead and actually deal with some criticism. But if you haven't decided yet if you like this or you don't like me or anything like that, go ahead and actually watch one of my other reviews here. And then you make that determination if you want to go ahead and actually like me or not. But until the next time, I'll holler at you. Take care of yourself.
Now that's a happy ending. Or is it? Because everything's over now. And all that's left is you and the infinite void.